when they're born, they're almost always a dark gray, and then as they get bigger, that dark gray fades out into a light white. So the darker gray individuals you see are the younger members, and the lighter white are getting older and older. Now that they've found their trainers, I believe the belugas would also like to say hello to everybody. So again, if you listen... that gives you a good idea of how they got the nickname Canaries of the Sea. You guys saw one method of training earlier on. You saw us teach the animals that targeting game. Another method of training involves doing what you are all doing right now, just observing these animals at play. Because on their own, these animals are capable of all sorts of really fun behaviors. So just by watching, you could see on the left, Naya showing off just how flexible those pectoral fins can be. Or if you look towards the back of the exhibit, that's Kayabak swimming upside down, spitting water up into the air. Or another behavior that you could see if you look towards the back of the exhibit, Bella swimming backwards on her tail. Or on the right, a nice playful spy hop from Nunavik. So whether it be popping up out of the water to get a new perspective of their surroundings, or vocalizing, as you saw earlier, to communicate. These are things that belugas know how to do on their own. We don't have to show them how these things are done. But who here remembers what that whistle sound means? It's a good job, you're right, it means thank you. So just by watching these animals at play and blowing the whistle when we see these fun behaviors, that's our way of telling the belugas that they're doing a great job and that we love what we see. Because the relationships that exist between the trainers and the animals, the more that the belugas know they're doing things that we enjoy seeing, the more and more they start to repeat those behaviors. From there, it's all just a matter of attaching a hand signal to go along with those behaviors so we get asked to see them at a certain time. What you're going to see next is how those whistles and signals start to come together. You look towards the island on the left. You can see Eric is working with Naya. Eric is going to give a signal asking for a behavior from Naya. What I want you guys to watch for is I want you to watch Eric for the signal he gives, watch Naya's response to that signal, and then listen for the timing of Eric's whistle. So, you'll notice Eric blew that whistle as soon as he was hit directly in the face with a nice big cold mouthful of water. Believe it or not, that's what Eric wanted to happen. So he blew that whistle to let Naya know that she had done a great job. What we're going to do now is show you what happens when we change up the timing of that whistle just a little bit in hopes of making this game last even longer, which I know Eric is very excited for. So, you'll see that Naya continued to play this spinning game until she heard that whistle, which let her know she'd done a great job, and Eric thanked her for playing. As I mentioned earlier, all of the training that we do here at Shed is only possible because of the relationships that exist between the trainers and the animals. What we'd like to show you next is a great way of nurturing and fostering that relationship to make sure it continues to grow and thrive. On the end, in the back, you can see one of our trainers, Elizabeth, is going to be entering the water, and she's going to be working with the belugas from a more eye-to-eye perspective. So I'm going to take a step back to let you enjoy watching Elizabeth as she works with the belugas in their world. Thank you, Elizabeth. Since Elizabeth couldn't really bring food out into the habitat with her, she had to do other things to let the belugas know that they were doing a great job, whether it be a playful scratch on the tongue or a playful splash of water. And as I'm sure you can tell from the expression on Elizabeth's face, that the opportunity to work this closely with these incredible animals is a rewarding experience for our trainers as well. You guys have seen how we train the animals, and you've seen why we train the animals. Now it's time to pull all of that training together to highlight the incredible natural behaviors that these animals are capable of. For this next part, I don't have to say a thing, so I take one more step back and turn things over to the beluga whales. Thank you all once again for joining us for today's show. We hope you've enjoyed learning about how and why we train the animals here at Shed. In just a few moments, one of Shed's trainers, Jen, will be joining us down here on the walkway. So feel free to stop by, introduce yourself, and ask her any questions you might have about Shed or animal training and care. Now that the show is over, you have two options to exit. For the main aquarium level, wild reef exhibit or 4D experience, you can exit up the stairs. For the bubble net food court or the bubble play zone, you can exit down toward me